I heard one the other night and I was like, no, no, ma'am, we're not going to say that. But for the most part, you're just like, I can't believe I get to be partnered with something that changes lives in the way that it does. And I'm so glad that I am. And that's what we get the joy and honor of hearing today from my friend Robin. You guys know and love her, and you've seen her in lots and lots and lots of things, especially Super Saturday, or maybe it was Leaders Retreat. And I have grown to really love and admire this friend of mine because she's steady through a storm. And I think that that's something we all need to learn to do. So, Robin, if you will get us started, kick us all in the face with inspiration. No pressure.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. So, yes, Jennifer has become one dear friend of mine as well. And so I'm just really excited that she asked me to join you guys today during your power hour to share my testimony. So, for those of you who don't know about my journey, I started Plexus over 7 years ago, really 7.5 years ago. And I was a very stressed out assistant principal of a high need school. I live in a suburb of Dallas. And I started taking the products, honestly, to gain willpower over food and to shed a few pounds. When I joined Plexus, I'm a quintessential bargain shopper. So I, honest to goodness, didn't even know I was joining like a business. I thought I was just joining for a discount. I'm literally in the parking lot of Costco because that's what I thought. I was joining Costco. I was like, oh, okay. It took me longer than 6 months to pack the pounds on. So it'll probably take me longer than 2 or 3 months to get it off. So I need to get the rock bottom price. That's the only reason why I joined. I will sprinkle out some tips for you as I'm sharing my testimony. Okay. So just be when I'll call those out. I'll just say, hey, this is a pro tip. So one of the major things that I think helped me to catch the vision of the journey, because I really didn't have an active upline, was the fact that I was added to pages. So if you're not adding your people to pages, please add your people to pages. That is how I caught the vision of this opportunity. Because I started for weight loss. I started to gain willpower over food. I didn't start because I had uterus issues. I didn't start because I wanted to get relief from like a chronic or debilitating issue. But it was when I was added to these pages and I started to see other people having so many, like team pages is what I mean, Christina, team pages. At the time, 7 years ago, there were no corporate pages, y'all. There wasn't none of that going on. Okay. So these are, when I say pages, it's just like team pages where testimonials are being shared. Okay. And where people are sharing kind of their business wins too. And so when I started, I really had a realistic expectation as well of what the products did. I did do a little bit of research because I didn't want to lose weight for the sake of just vanity. And I didn't want to do more damage to my body. So I was really attracted to the fact that Plexus was a plant-based company. These were plant-based products. And I knew that I was in it for the long haul because I knew that the products were designed to burn fat, not muscle. So that's another tip. Make sure that you're setting realistic expectations for your people. I went into this knowing that I wasn't going to lose weight super fast. Another tip was that one of the things that I did learn early on in my Plexus journey is that you should take measurements. That was the number one thing that kept me going on my journey because I only lost 2 pounds in my first 60 days, but I lost 19 inches of fat. Those 19 inches of fat took me from a size 10, 12 to a size 4, 6 in 2 months, y'all. If I had just been paying attention to the scale, I honestly probably would have quit because I'm super cheap as well. I'm not only a bargain shopper, but I'm kind of cheap. And I probably would have been like, well, I can lose 2 pounds in 2 months on my own, you know? So make sure that you're sending people a measurement chart and having them truly measure their fat loss because our products are designed to burn fat, not muscle. So that really kept me motivated. Okay. So in the first couple of weeks, I started to feel more energy, better sleep, started pooping better. I really, really started to feel a difference just in my palate for food, like my palate changed. So I knocked my Dr. Pepper addiction. I really paid attention to the fact that my appetite was suppressed. And so that then encouraged me to really start changing my eating habits. But I initially did not change my eating habits. I was still eating spicy chicken sandwich meal deals, y'all. It was a hot mess. Okay. But I was in a very stressful job, didn't have time to make my lunch and take it to work, blah, blah, all the things. Okay. So about 7 months in, I'd lost 30 pounds and 30 inches. I went from a size 10, 12 to a size 0. And I naturally began sharing, honestly, because the lady that signed me up, she made $500 in her first month. So when she made $500 in her first month, she told me, I happened to work with this lady. So I knew she wasn't like peddling products down the street, going door to door. I knew that she had to have been doing something pretty simple because we were literally at work all day long. And if you're in education, or if you know anybody who's an educator, when you're at work, you're at work. Like, you don't have time, you don't have downtime. And as an administrator, I was doing lots of discipline. I was an AP. So I was doing a lot of crisis management at our school because I was at a hot mess express school. So it was just a lot going on. Okay. So I truly did fit Plexus into the nooks and crannies of my life. So when I saw this lady made $500, I am kind of competitive. And I was like, she can make $500. I can make $500. So I got over my fear really quickly of Facebook because I was terrified of Facebook. I honestly was not a social media person at all. So that's another tip, like step out of your comfort zone, because I really was afraid of what people would think of me because I'd never done anything like this before, never done network marketing. But I really was not a big Facebook person. So, but I got over my fear and I started sharing. And over the course of 7 months, I began making half of what I made as an assistant principal. And at that point is when I really, really took a hard and long look at this opportunity, because at the time I was really treating it like a hobby. I was not treating it like a business. I was kind of dibbling and dabbling. I would post and people would respond, and, I would reach out to them. They sign up as a customer ambassador. I was not looking for business builders. I didn't know anything about just catching the vision of the opportunity and sharing that vision with other people. Wasn't doing any of that because I didn't know. No one trained me. I didn't know anything. And so, but because I was making half of what I made as an AP, I decided I was going to take a leap of faith. I was scared to death, but I walked away from my career in education as assistant principal. I was a gold ambassador with Plexus when I walked away from my career. And it was pretty scary. And it was scary because if you know anything about education, when you work to get to a position where you're leading a school, those positions don't come up very often. Like, teachers are waiting in the wings to be considered to be assistant principals and principals of schools. And so I knew if I walked away that if things didn't work out with Plexus, like, I was going to have to basically start all over, be a teacher, work my way up. Okay. And so I was really, really afraid, but I just felt like that's what God was calling me to do. So I walked away. And that's when I really started treating Plexus like a business. I stopped treating it like a hobby. So again, a mindset shift. This is another tip. If you're really wanting to make Plexus something out of nothing, and you're really wanting to take your business to the next level, you have to begin treating it like a business and not treat it like a hobby. So I started really immersing myself. Honestly, I became a student of the products, a student of the industry, a student of Plexus Worldwide. I watched every Diamond documentary. I mean, I breathed belief into myself. Okay. And I just continued to put my head down and I worked. It took me a long time to even find several business builders. But between the time I walked away from my career in education, so when I was a gold ambassador, it took me about 13 months to get to Emerald. And I want to give you a little bit of perspective for you. When I started Plexus, it was when Jennifer started Plexus, right? Jennifer, you started about 7.5 years ago, correct? And because I remember seeing her testimony, I was so inspired. But the people in Plexus back in the day, they were flying through the ranks back then. So my journey looked a little bit slow. Okay. It seemed like, okay, why is it taking me 5 months to get to the next rank? Because people were like literally rank promoting every month. Okay. It was gangbusters, especially here in Texas, because we're just so highly concentrated here in Texas. A lot of jewel leaders are here. So I could have allowed comparison to be the thief of my joy. But I constantly went back to the fact that I knew that I was on this journey for a reason, and I was going to stick to it, and I was going to see this through to completion. So I continue to share, I continue to cast vision, I continue to educate my community, I continue to help people to see the bigger opportunity that was sitting right in front of them as I was getting people healthy left and right. And that was really the sole purpose of me even starting, was to help people in my community get healthier. Okay. So about 13 months in, like I said, I went Emerald. When you go Emerald, a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get to Emerald and I'm going to go Sapphire in a couple months, and I'm going to go Diamond a couple months later. And newsflash, y'all, that it didn't happen for me. It took me another almost 4 years to get to Sapphire. I sat at Emerald for 3.5 years. And guys, honestly, most people would quit. Most people would have quit because I wasn't even hovering like close to Sapphire points those 3.5 years. The highest I ever got in those 3.5 years was probably like 2,000 points. To be a Sapphire, you have to be 3,000. And so I had to do a lot of soul searching. I had to raise my leadership lid. I focused a lot on my own personal growth because you can't pour from an empty cup. So I knew that I needed to keep learning and growing myself as a leader in order to pour into others. And when I tell you that season of most people would think is like a season of being in the wilderness, for me, it was so much more than that. It was really the time that it gave me to really cast a bigger vision for people in my community. So I just kept pouring in, kept building belief into the people that were on my team. And so in April 2019, we became a Sapphire team, was super, super excited for that growth. In 2019, it was during the whole iPad craze. I don't know if y'all remember that. And so that was something that needed to happen for my team. We went Emerald. After that, I think that was the Rise convention in 2019. Isn't that right? That was the right thing that year. Rise Up. After that convention, I think everybody in Plexus took a really big nap. Like everybody just kind of went to sleep and we were like, what's happening? So my points went way backwards. I'm totally like giving you 100% the real story here. My points went back super far. And I was just like, I really don't know what to do. Like I wasn't at my wit's end, but I just kept digging deeper. Like, what is it? So I continued to grow my business, grow super wide. I grew super wide in my business, honestly, out of necessity, because it was what I needed to kind of stay afloat and keep and maintain a very strong Emerald team. And that I always did. I maintained a strong Emerald team. So fast forward to July 2019. So this was right after convention. Everybody went to sleep. I continued to put my head down and continue to work. Okay. Even though it was not looking good because my points kept going backwards from when I went Sapphire in 2019 in April. And I ended up signing one of my good friends from college. I had prospected this woman for 4 years. I reached out to her and followed up with her 87 times. I counted. And for some reason in July 2019, is actually July 15th, she decided to join my team. Okay. She'd been a customer for several years after many, many times of me trying to get her to say yes. And this young woman, she joined me in July 15th of 2019. By July 30th of 2020, she was a Diamond Ambassador on my team. I went from January of 2020, before the pandemic hit, I was at 1,600 points. And by July of 2020, I was at almost 13,000 points. So when I tell you that anything is possible, anything is possible. You must persevere. You must learn the lessons. You must stay positive. You must believe that there is something much bigger in store for you throughout this journey, because there are thousands and thousands of lives that have now been impacted because I chose to be faithful. So I hope that this inspires you today. 87 follow-ups should inspire you during this power hour to get your booty into gear and do some major reach outs and some major follow-ups. And if you have a nudging in your soul that someone is supposed to be joining your team, it's likely that it's a gut feeling and you need to go for the gusto. Do not accept no for an answer. So I hope this helps, Jennifer.
Yes, and I'm gonna have to record this or make sure it's uploaded quick because everyone's messaging me saying, "Can we get this? Can we get this?" I wanted to know one thing. What did she say was finally the thing that made her say yes? Was it her timing, or was there something that what was it, the 87th time?
I'm going to give you another tip. So I have a prospect page, okay? And it's for anybody on my team ever says anything to someone about Plexus, I have them add them to this group, okay? This prospect group. There's 9,000 people in this group, okay? I had added this young woman. Her name is Rhea Moore. She just did a training call yesterday for corporate. She's the diamond that started and went diamond in literally 12 months. The one that I reached out to 87 times. And there was a thyroid testimony in this page. Okay. So newsflash, 7 years ago, Plexus was the wild, wild west. We could say anything we wanted to on Facebook. We throw out all kinds of disease states and this, that, and the other. We can't do that anymore. So that's why we got wise. We said, okay, let's start a prospect page. So we add people to this private group, and that way we can be the wild, wild west in the private group. Well, this private group she had been in for several years. And for whatever reason, on July 15th, 2019, I posted something that she saw that was related to thyroid. She had never told me that she had thyroid issues. She saw that and she said, ooh, me, because I asked, does anybody have thyroid issues? And I posted this testimony. And she said, me. And at that point, I was just like, okay, enough is enough, Rhea. You're joining my team. I'm sick and tired of this. Stop dibbling and dabbling with the probiotics. It's time for you to take the full triplex. And she joined. But when she joined, Jennifer, at the time you had to have a $199 welcome pack to be considered fast start. So when she was looking at the welcome pack, she said, well, what's this fast start? She saw the fast start emblem above that welcome pack. And I said, well, fast start is, a way you can earn the maximum amount of bonuses, if you're wanting to build. And again, I'm still thinking that she's not wanting to build the business, even though I talked to her about the business many times. And she said, and so another pro tip, ask questions, be curious. Because I said to her, I said, okay, well, why do you want to know about Fast Start? And I said, are you wanting to share? And she said, yeah, I think I do want to share. I said, well, why do you want to share now? Another pro tip, don't be afraid to ask hard questions. I said, well, why do you want to share now? She was a little bit offended that I asked her, but I felt like I prospected you for 4 years, talked to you 87 times, and now you want to say you want to build a business? So I wanted to know why. I said, why do you want to build a business now? And she said, literally, this is how prophetic this is. She said, I want to create a movement of health and happiness. She did not know that was our tagline. Had no idea. She said, Robin, I want to create a movement of health and happiness. And I have chills saying it because we have created a movement of health and happiness on our team. Almost 7,000 people joined our team in 2020. And we are creating ripple effects of change in our community because of one and now 2 big yeses. So stick with this, guys. The best is yet to come. And there's so much more in store for each and every one of you. So thanks, Jennifer.
Well, now I'm crying. I think people forget when they see someone hit diamond that they think maybe they have more influence or there's all these things that they say to discount themselves. And it really is. I saw this girl post about becoming a realtor, and she said her mom's been a realtor. She tried to dissuade her from becoming one. And she said, it's not easy or everyone would do it. And so basically I thought about Plexus. I'm like, it's not easy or else everybody would do it. It's simple, but it's not easy. So it's the perseverance, and girl, you got it. I'm telling you now, you have the perseverance, and let's all just give a big, huge clap and shout out for the amazing, inspirational Robin Sullivan. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Love you, girl. And y'all have a great, great power hour.
Thank you.
Bye,
okay,
guys.
Y'all, seriously right now, do we even need to work? Can we just all bask in the amazing? Go away, dog. I have to do this in my family room because my children are unsupervised and they will burn my house down. So anyhow, wow, that was incredible because of a lot of different things. One is, we talked about this the other day. I said, there's not a diamond in the world that I've heard not say she never gave up on me. She never stopped asking me. They always say that. And people are like, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to bother people. If you're bothering them, that's a problem. But if you're actually reaching out for purposes that we know are for good, how is that a bother? Now, if you copy and paste a Norwex invitation, you bothering me. I'm going to be honest. Okay, so anyhow, let's move on. We're going to start off by treating Wednesday like our Wednesday wins. And so the thing that I want you to do is really think about this right now. What is something you are winning at in your life? I don't know what that could be. Like for me, I'm learning how to be a beast on my headstand chair thingy. If you don't know what that is, that's fine. It may be that you're learning how to be more patient. Like this morning, you didn't yell at somebody. It may be whatever that win is for you. Like you reached for the biscuits and gravy, but you had whatever, water instead. Whatever your win is, that's what I want you right now. Don't overthink it. I don't want you to like get out your ring light and get all like put on your hat. No, just go make a post about your wins and ask, What are your wins today? So we're looking for engagement with this post so that people are engaging and looking at you being vulnerable. So therefore they will be in the comments. That's the first thing we're gonna do. Let's give it 5 minutes. If you will visualize what it is that you want in your life, it's not a genie bottle. It's not you just manifesting something right in front of you. It's actually just science. You're actually training your brain and you're getting used to the idea of you walking in that dream in real life. So yesterday we did that, and here's what we're going to do today. Now this is old school, but you guys come up with whatever it is that you want to use. I use index cards. So if I were you, I don't care if you cut up a piece of paper. I don't care how you want to do this. You could put it on your phone, but I just have this thing about old school methods. So I wrote down like these big dreams that I have. And what you do is leave this on your nightstand beside your bed. And every night, and even every morning, but I only do it at night, grab it, look at the dream, visualize the dream, look at the next one, look at it, visualize it. You are training your brain to begin doing the actions that will bring about that result. So that's just a little tip for you if you actually want to start visualizing what could be. You think that people that want to lose weight don't visualize themselves, like being able to zip up their pants or feeling comfortable or wearing their wedding dress? Everybody that has a big goal has a visualization. They just don't know that's what they're doing. So whatever that is for you, now don't visualize that you're going to have 5 minutes alone with Ryan Gosling. It's not going to happen, y'all. It's not. So go ahead and just visualize like the real, true goals. And if you don't know who Ryan Gosling is, The Notebook. Okay. Like that's, anyhow, let's not digress because that's just another story. So I encourage you to do that. Go ahead and write down your visualization, the dreams that you have, and go over that. Here's what we're going to do. You are going to go and search for graphics about why you should drink water, graphics with really easy, simple, clean recipes, or graphics with really simple, powerful, fierce inspiration quotes. Put them in a folder on your phone, and then you're going to spend like the next 20 minutes following up with all the people on your team, ones, twos, threes, I don't care, everyone, as much as you can, all your customers, even your previous customers, and pick the appropriate graphic and say, I saw this and I realized I need to up my water. And I thought, I bet she does too. So keep going with your water. Now that only applies to someone on the products right now. That'd be weird if you send it to someone that quit the products a long time ago. Inspiration, find something that's a connector, because if you do that, then it's not an awkward follow-up. It's you providing a resource. It's you becoming a gift giver. So that's what we're going to work on. I always forget to start recording again. The recap, I want you guys to make index cards with the dreams that you'll visualize, put it by your bed. I just want you to do like an experiment with yourself. Like if in a week's time, you're starting to see yourself walk in the actions and the activities that would bring you to these dreams. I made y'all. I encourage you to get water graphics, recipes, inspiration, ingredient graphics, all these things that you can use for a follow-up. Make a post about sharing your wins. And the last thing that you guys need to make sure you're doing is schedule in the February 11th at 7:30 p.m. Love Your Gut event that we're doing. It's Alita, me, and Tiffany. And it is the first time in a long time that we're doing as much business as we are product. And so this is going to be a Zoom event that you can use to really show people what Plexus is and what it could do for them as an opportunity. Remember this, and this is how we'll close. You can start conversations with people and you can slowly bend the conversation until it gets to the point where they either ask you about Plexus, or you can bring up your health struggles and then they respond with theirs and you end up talking about it. But one of the easiest ways to really get someone interested is having something to invite them to. And so whether that's you offering them the 3-day challenge using the 3-day challenge box, if that's you inviting them to the intermittent fasting group, I would not invite them to that unless you yourself are doing it or participating. If you're pregnant, you can still do it just in a different way, a 12-12, or just basically don't throw them into a group and go, man, I hope this gets them going. And then the Love Your Gut event is another good way to do that. It's February 11th, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. There is a graphic for that. Give me a second. I'll share my screen and you can screenshot it because I never know how to put it in the chat. Actually, give me a second. I'm getting more techie. 1 second.